I'll try to talk really clear. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I just want to be able to move. Good. Okay, so my favorite thing to get started, because like I like to work out, but I don't like to die. Okay, so I like to set my reason as to what I'm doing, because if you have no limit, you can, I mean, you can do anything to like overdo it, or kind of be underwhelming. I've gone to the gym plenty of times and kind of been underwhelmed. So I'm gonna close my eyes and I want to relax my shoulders, and I'm gonna set the intention today that I'm really gonna connect to myself, so that what I think the superpower that I'm really getting to with showing up tonight and showing up when I do is that I am taking what I have and I'm molding it the way I want it to be. I say it, that sounds not kind of wimpy, but really what it is if I don't do these things, I become a victim to my body. My body has a mind of its own, and I just react to my body. But by us showing up today, we're learning how to be proactive in our bodies and how to not be a victim of our bodies. And that's kind of what I want to set the stage for, and feel really empowered with my body, and feel grateful for all the capabilities, and then expand on the capabilities. I think that's where magic is made, not wanting to be something I'm not. That's not a really hopeful place, but really just feeling really good about what I have to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide my feet out. Okay, cool, I'm still in frame. And then as I'm going through things, I want to try to connect with my body, because that's how I gain my power. So I'm going to just start by wiggling my toes. Yep. And you can't wiggle them wrong, you just wiggle. And then can you go ahead and can you flex and point your feet? And so again, I'm just taking notice inside of my body, inside of your bodies, that, okay, so what does it feel like to point and flex? That feels good, that feels tight. Just like identify with it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to my quads. So I'm gonna flex my quads, which is something like lifting your kneecaps up. And then I'm gonna squeeze my hamstrings. And then do I have to reposition to do that? I don't know. This is just my time to connect with myself. And then can you squeeze your inner thighs? Yeah, what does that look like? And then can you squeeze your outer thighs? That's kind of crazy. And it's ironic, because our IT bands are really tight, but they're hard to squeeze. You know, ironic. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my butt. That's pretty easy, pretty connected. I think people are pretty good about that. And then I'm going to squeeze my labs. And you guys are not new, so we don't really have to explain as in detail. But if I could just go back into that, like, elevator type of thing where you're lifting up. Good. And then can you squeeze your buns and then your TVA at the same time? Good. And then can you go ahead and squeeze your right oblique and then your left oblique? Try to do them independently. And then can you do it together? And see, again, that the way we get to where we're going is a lot about us connecting and making something happen, instead of just kind of going through it, which I'm guilty of both. And then I'm going to put my hands on my ribs, and we talk about squeezing the rectus, but I'm going to use my breath to do it. So if you have your hands on your ribs, it's a guide to feel. I'm going to breathe into my lungs. I'm going to try and expand out to the side, and then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to tighten my rectus by pushing my ribs down into the mat. And then again, I'm going to breathe in. And when we do that, that creates an armor, think like an armadillo, and that makes everything nice and flat. Or as flat as my wine addiction will go. And the last one. Good. And this is from everything else kind of stems out and about. So then I'm going to go ahead and go up to my pecs, kind of give those a little flex, and then to my rhomboids, which is by your shoulder blades. And then I'm going to squeeze my traps really, really quickly, so up by my ears, and then I'm going to pull my lats down towards my waist. So for the record, our traps, go ahead and bring it back up, are really actually pretty small, and then squeeze your shoulder blades down, and your lats are actually pretty big, so we're going to just kind of tap into that with some of our arm work today. And then I'm going to go ahead and do biceps, and then triceps, and then a little bit of forearms, and then fingertips. So again, we've just kind of walked through our body to kind of feel, or just kind of check it in big muscle groups. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chin and I'm going to look one direction and try to kind of, if your neck's tight, mine's a little tight, you'll feel a little bit of stretching, just a little. And then the other way. Not like a hamstring stretch, just a tiny bit. And then back and forth. This also takes pressure off of your neck and allows you to mobilize it a little bit before we start doing the things. Good. And then one other thing I've been adding in, especially, is taking my arm out to the side, and then I kind of look the other way to get a stretch through like the bicep or the chest. If you don't feel a stretch, that's good. If you do, that's also good. And then I'm going to angle my arm up a little bit, so it's kind of in a T, now it's kind of in a Y. And I'm reaching through my fingertips, so I have active stuff which pulls this open. If my arm is dead weight, I just don't really feel as much. I don't want to waste your time. And then I'll finish up and do the other one. So I'll go to the T position, opening, stretching out. And then I'll bring my hand up into the Y position. This side happens to be tighter. How about that? This is my right side. So, and again, that gives me context on what to work on, or if you guys get massages, I highly recommend. I need to. Then when I go and the massage therapist is like, tell me, and you're like, fix that. I just know it's tight because, you know, you take care of yourself like that. And then I'm going to do both arms up in a nice I position and a good morning stretch. I like to fold and kind of stretch. Good. And the added bonus to this is we're creating a lot of space in here so that when we start moving, we're creating those long muscles versus those short muscles. I have no problem with short muscles except for it can cause compression in certain parts. And so again, I feel like this is just a really good maintenance stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and slide my heels back into my back in. They're just going to kind of rest. And then what I'm going to do is just to bring a little awareness to how your pelvis, you know, we do a lot of butt stuff in general, but like that being said, this affects how you carry your torso. So I want to talk about it really quick. I want to go ahead and I have my hands on my hip bones and I'm going to scoop my tailbone under. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but now my bones are flat with the ceiling. And then I'm going to kind of arch my low back and stick my butt out, and now my bones kind of angle down. So I'm just going to do a few pelvic tucks. And each pelvic tuck has a really, I mean, like you're supposed to be able to move this much. And they have really unique ways to hold our body. Good. And now I'm going to do pelvic clocks or pelvic circles. I'm going to tuck. I'm going to roll. I always think of like SpongeBob, of bringing it around town. And I'm just going to kind of circle. This is to kind of take the pressure off in the hip socket where the femur goes in, and to really utilize other parts to help move this. And then I'll go the other direction, rolling, and also kind of checking in. Good. And then I'll go ahead and stop somewhere in the middle. And so as I get ready to get started a little bit more, please also take breaks whenever you need. I like to challenge you because I think that's, you know, what you pay money for. But I also don't want to like torment you. So take a break or communicate with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press into my heels. I want my hip flexors to be off to start off with. I can check that by putting my hands on my hip bones right here. If I feel something grippy, and again, I'm trying to explain it. It can be confusing. If I push into my heels, my right side used to grip, but not my left. But if you're the same and they both grip, what I try to do is I try to move my pelvis in such a position to where I can feel my bones and nothing slides over the bones. That's kind of how you know that that's working. And then what I do is I push my ribs down. Okay. Now the reason I'm talking about this is because sometimes people start tucking their pelvis, which creates like this kind of thing, which on camera doesn't look as crazy, but if I were to stand up or sit up, I'd be strong like this, which is kind of funny. Okay, see my back is straight, but that's kind of funny, and I want to be strong like this. Okay, so that's why I'm spending some time on this so that we don't have to unwork that later. Okay, so now that's set, and that almost feels like you're sitting on your tailbone, and now we're ready. So I'm going to take my hands behind my head. I want to send my elbows out wide, which is why we stretched a little bit. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose. I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to curl up. Now, while you're up here, check, and then pull the TVA up to your throat, and then go ahead and set yourself back down. And you're going to exhale, you're going to flex. Guys, there's so much moving parts here. Good. 3, but you're a human. You're a beautiful human. 4, 8, making your hardware. 5, work for you. 6, I'm fully supporting my neck, because if I didn't, that would be painful. And then I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to give little pulses. I'm going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, oh, I needed this too, 2, thank you, and 1. And then I'm going to twist towards you guys. I'm going to twist and then back down. And I'm going to kind of get heavy in my feet so that I don't like move my pelvis to do this. Yeah, good. 3, I didn't even know I was moving my pelvis until somebody called me out one time. 4, 5, and this sets the stage. Good. 6 as we get moving. 7, and 8, and then I'll go the other way, right? Just so I feel what that feels like. I'll go 8, 7, 6, not too fast, not too slow, 5, gives me time to feel, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to make my way back through the middle. I'm going to start with my camera leg, and I'm going to lift up to my tiptoe, and then I'm going to set it back down. I am not underestimating the fact I'm working the bottom of my foot, which is pretty awesome. 3, 4, belly button's in tight, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to go ahead and take that leg, and I'm going to march it up and tap it down. Ooh, my foot's cramping. It's like, oh yeah, 2. Oh, that looks nice. 3, don't mind me, my point flex. 4, good, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to set that down. I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side. I'm going to adjust the tiptoe and then set it down. And then 2, set it down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll march that leg up. I'm going to bring it up and back down. Good angle. I can see your 90-degree angle. Good, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so I'm going to set it back down. We're going to get to some more shenanigans, but I wanted to kind of like give some time without having to lift our legs too much. So I'm going to go ahead and take my camera leg, which is my left leg, and I'm going to bring it open, and then I'm going to squeeze and push into the heel and curl up a little bit higher. And same leg, I'm going to open it, and I'm going to close and squeeze up a little bit. This is just turning on more the midline stuff. 3, 4, and this gives me time because this move's not big and crazy. 5, to make sure I'm sitting on my tailbone so that my torso's long. 6, 7, and then I'll switch to the other leg. I'm going to inhale, open. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to curl up for 8, 7, squeeze the muscle inside of you. 6 with your brain. 5, 4. That way it's like 3, warming up. 2. Okay, so we're going to do something crazy today. We're going to do double legs to start off with. So now I'm going to go ahead and lift up to my tiptoes with both legs. Set it down. I'm going to lift up both, and I'll start setting the mode to turn this on. Good. 3, 4, 5, and your tiptoes do that. 6, 7. Now doing your best that you can. Try to lift them up at the same time. I'm going to lift both of them up at the same time, and then I'm going to tap down. Good. And I really have to be really conscious to move from like my hips for the load here versus like from my knees. Okay, good. We're being gentle on our joints. 5, 6, inhale, exhale, 7, good, and 8. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring my legs up to tabletop. I'm going to go ahead and push my hands out. This is how I know if I'm in a good angle. However, if you get really tired, you can tuck it in, okay? Because we love your low back. We want to make sure it's okay. But I just want to give you a good pre-on. Your arms are usually pretty good. So I'm going to go back behind my head, and then I'm going to go ahead and send one of my legs out, and I'm going to boop the ground, boop, and then I'll bring it back in, and then I'll switch. I'm going to send it out and back in. And again, 3. Now for playing with angles to make it a little better, this is a better angle. 4 for your back, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and the reason I gave you those options is because now we're going to do both legs. If you don't like both legs, do one leg. So I'm going to send out for 8, back in, 7. Other options is to put your hands on your pelvis, 6, like this, okay? And that'll support you, 5 if you need it. Other than that, I'm going to try and keep it into my core by staying flexed up. 7, and 8. And since we still got to wake up our hamstrings, I'd like you to set your head down. Keep your legs up, and I'll bring my hands either into like a low V or into a T position. I'm going to open my shoulders, and I'm going to twist towards the camera. I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to squeeze myself back into the center. And then I'll do the same thing. I'm going to fill up with air. I'm going to twist, and I'm going to squeeze myself back in. 2, and again. 3, nice. 4, I don't want it to be miserable, but I want it to work. 5, 6, good, chest open. 7, and 8, and then I'll take it the other way. I'm going to inhale and exhale. Get any pops out that I might have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now this is not a bad time to have a foam roller or a pillow close. So if you kind of want to get there, it'll help hold your legs up. I'm going to try to keep my legs up so I keep the electricity here and don't let it go into my feet into the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flex my feet and I'm going to open and close for butterfly or clam kind of. Good. 3. I know it's not like a lot yet, but we're going to start liberating the hamstrings. 4, but we got to turn on these little twisters to help have this something steady to turn onto. 2, and then I'll keep my legs open and I'm going to press into froggy. I'm going to press like a little frog on a lily pad. Good. And press. 2, 3. Now when I extend, it's like I'm making space for my legs, so I'm trying to hollow out. 4, 5. Good. 6, 7. And then I'm going to keep my legs straight and I'm going to kind of give a little tiny, like a reverse crunch, but it's really all about stretching out. Good. 3, you can use your hands if you want to. 4, good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and set my feet down. I'm going to open up this crease because I got a plan for you here in a second, okay? So I'm going to press to my heels. I'm just doing this to open up my hips from being creased. So I'm going to bridge 3 times. I'm going to go ahead and roll and lift my hips up high. And then I'm going to start at my breastbone and I'm going to lay that down. And then I still have space down here and I'm going to let my tailbone be the last thing to touch. And then I'm going to re-scoop, pushing my hips open and then rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. And then letting it go ahead and go full extension. And the last time, just open up the hips. Open, open, open. And then I'll roll myself down. And then I'm going to go ahead and extend one leg out. Get solid, then the other. And we're going to do a few rolls, okay? So I'm going to take my hands up towards the ceiling. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to nod my chin. I'm going to push into my heels. I'm going to roll and sit myself up. I'm going to get really tall through the crown of my head. And then I'm going to dive forward, up and over, and do a big stretch. And then I'm going to go ahead and glide, and then get up really tall again, and then I'm going to start from my pelvis, yeah, and then I'm going to lean it back, good, 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 good. And then I'm going to reach up and overhead, a big stretch, that looks nice, and then hands will come up towards the ceiling. I'm going to nod my chin, I'm going to do the best I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and round and stretch up and over, and then nice tall. Now, you're with yourself, so you can play a game to see how far you can go when you go forward. I just like take little mental snapshots of kind of where I am. Good. And then forward. And then a roll really tall. We're going to do just one more of these. Good. And I'll reach up. I'm going to roll. Sit up tall. Yes. And then go forward. Which leads me into the first arm thing. I'm excited about this core thing, but I wanted to get a full body thing. So since we're here, I feel like it's a really easy transition, and I can open my chest up versus being here to do tricep dips. So my butt's pretty low, which is perfectly acceptable. This would make it a little bit more space to dip, but we're gonna do triceps like this. If your wrists get tired, wall push-ups are always an option. Also, I'm glad you guys are here because tricep push-ups are good for me, and this makes me do them, which is why I love that we have this community to do that. So we are going to start in 3, 2, let's see if you can see that a little bit, and I'll start my little dips. This position is unique too. It makes me kind of work on my posture a little bit to keep my chest open versus like this kind of thing. Yeah, good. We have 3, 2, 1, and then go ahead and take a break. Break is a great time for wine. I'm gonna set up the timer. And by the way, this is a long drill, so if you happen to, good, and then we'll go back at it. There we go. This water bottle, yep, you're good. This water bottle has no help. It's not helpful. Not helpful, not helpful, that's okay. And rest. Good. I mean, you can kind of see it. That'll work. That'll work. That way you're in. Okay. I'm gonna open my chest, push up my hips. Perfect. And by the way, when I get to the end of this, my arms are tired, so sometimes I just hold it. So just know that's always an option. I also like this. The gravity helps us pull our belly button in like this. Good. And then we'll rest. Do it again. Lift my hips up. And take a breather. We are halfway through. See, you're so strong. Moving and grooving, but not dying. I don't know, you guys are pretty tough though. Good. By the way, you totally can change positions if you get tired. The girls did the other day. They did regular push-ups. I don't really like regular push-ups either, so I mean, you know, pick your poison kind of thing. I do them because they're good for me. Good. And then again. Woo! Belly buttons in. Doing the things. And the reason this is perfect in the middle is because we are going to completely be off of our hands next. Ooh, ooh. All right, just 2 more times. Good. I'm keeping my elbows relatively together so they're not winging out to the side, giving me funky shoulder stuff. Yeah, that looks good. Good job. Good, and rest. Ooh. Julie, we got the, I think it's red. We got the red couches going on. Check it. Oh, oh yeah, I can see. This is best for last. Perfect. Ooh. Oh, perfect. That's right when the shakes are settling in. Okay, cool. Ooh. So we're gonna make our way back to our ground. Now we had already did some double leg stuff, so now we're gonna go into single leg stuff, but it's beautifully challenging. Beautifully. Okay. So I'm gonna go and take my tired triceps. I'm gonna bring my hands behind my head, which is nice. It's a nice break from here. My feet are planted, and I'm gonna start the same way we kind of started. I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna curl up and back in, and hopefully this is easier to feel too. And it's not too crazy right now. 3, but I want you to feel like you're good at things. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna hold it up and pulse again for 8, 7, 6, 5. That looks good. That looks good. Elbows wide. 4, 3, 2. We're gonna do our twisty thing because it's gonna come in really handy. I'm gonna twist one way and then back to the middle in the same direction. I'm gonna twist. Try not to tilt your pelvis. Under 3. Let's kind of do some funny things, okay? 4, 5, unless you need to, and you should. If your low back is really tired. 6, then you should tuck. 7, and 8, and then I'll go the other way. I'm gonna twist. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let the fun begin. Okay, I'm gonna stay up through the middle. I'm gonna start with my camera like so you can see better, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna point my toe just so I get my front connection. I'm gonna march it and then tap it down, and then I'm gonna march it. So it's important as we go through the order. I'm starting through the middle before I start adding the twist. 3, 4, 5. I'm inhaling and exhaling. 6 to make this an accordion. 7, and now I'm gonna twist towards the leg that's moving. So I'm gonna twist, toward the leg, and then back down. 1, 2. I'm squeezing inside of me. 3 with my brain. 4, 5, nice. 6, 7. Okay, now we're gonna twist to the leg that's down. So I'm gonna twist, and then I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna lift the leg, and then I'm gonna twist. That makes more sense. Lift, and then twist. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're gonna follow the same order. I'm gonna stay up through the middle. I'm gonna send the leg out. I'm gonna boop it. I'm gonna curl up and then pull it back in. I'm gonna send the leg out. I'm gonna boop the ground and pull it back in. Or you can angle up. 3, just like we talked about at the beginning. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna go ahead and twist towards the leg that's moving. So I'm gonna send the leg out, and I'm gonna twist in. And I'm gonna send the leg out, and I'm gonna twist in. 2, yeah. 3, 4, 5, nice. 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm gonna twist towards the other leg, and then pull it back into the center. I'm gonna twist to the other leg, pull it back in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm gonna lift the leg up through the middle, and then I'm gonna curl up as I drop it down. I'm gonna lift it up. 2, good. 3, stretch. 4, I'm checking out the landscape here. 5, and trying not to let my belly button poof up. 6, and that is an effort. 7, and then I'm gonna twist towards the leg, just like we've been practicing. Twist. Twist as it happens to me. Feel like my other leg will be less impressive, but that's okay. Force if you feel that, if you have a less impressive side. It comes with the territory of being a human. 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to lift the leg, and I'm going to twist the other direction. I'm going to lift and twist the other direction. 2, 3, good. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to stay through the middle, and I'm going to glide the leg in, and then I'll send it back out. This gives me time to sit back into my neutral pelvis if I started tucking under a little bit. 3, 4, 5, good job. 6, 7, and 8. And stay curled up, and then let the games begin. I'm going to start through the middle, toe tapping. 2, 3, 4, nice, nice. 5, 6, 7, and then I'll start by twisting towards that leg. Inhale, exhale. I hope you guys kind of feel good though, that you know what's coming, so you can kind of like be able to execute it and not worry about, oh my gosh, what's next. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm gonna lift it, and then I'm gonna twist the other way to make space. Good, it's nice to be able to see you too, good. Whew. 3, 4, wouldn't that be crazy if I could touch my knee? 5, I still have a good distance. 6, 7, and 8, and then we're gonna follow the same pattern, sending the leg out, curling up, reaching, and again, I'm curling up when I extend it out. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying really hard not to squish under here. 7 like that, and 8. And then I'll twist towards the leg, and then send it back out. Twist towards the leg, and send it back out. 3, and out. Good. 4, 5, yes. 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna bring it in, and I'm gonna twist towards the other leg. That makes sense. I'm gonna bend, I'm gonna twist towards the other leg. 2, good job. 3, so much twisting. 4. Good thing we turn on our twisters at the beginning. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm going to stay through the middle and lift the leg up. And just start working on the hamstring. Lift it up. Good. 2, 3. Oh, this is where I'm guilty of trying to use that side. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to twist towards this leg. Twist. 8, 7. Beautiful length. 6. I can see it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to lift it up through the middle, and then I'm going to twist to the bottom leg. Twist. 8, 7, 6. Good. 5, 4, 3. Yes. 2, and 1. Then I'm going to stay through the middle. I'm going to set the heel down. I'm going to glide it in for 8. Ooh, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead and lengthen back down. Okay, so we did the double leg lifts and we did in and out with the bent knees, but we have not done straight leg up and down. So really important, use your hands as needed, or you can use your triceps and of course this, but there's a spectrum, so it just takes a little bit of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one leg up, yep, and I'm going to point flex it out a little bit. Then I'm going to take the bottom leg and I'm going to slide it out. Now that might tilt your pelvis a little bit, so use your hands as needed, but I'm going to point flex. And if it's miserable, of course, bend that back in. Good. But I'm going to squeeze 4, 3, relax your neck and shoulders. 2, and we're going to do leg circles. If it pops or catches something, this is perfectly acceptable to move from your knee than your foot, but I'm going to try to create space, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and push heavy in this heel down here. That makes my butt really solid, and I'm going to squeeze down and around. Yes, I'm going to go down and around. And I'm going to try to stop my torso from like rocking like that, see 3? And I'm going to try and hold it steady like a statue. It's like a reverse plank. 4 without having to do all the arm work. 3, good. 2, and 1. And then I'll go the other way. Start small at first and reach through your toes for 8, 7, 6, nice. 5, look at that, that's such a good length. 4, relax your neck and shoulders. 3, 2, and last thing, reach behind the knee, grab it, bend and push just to do a final stretch. That's a really, what we're doing is we're tightening the front and loosening the back. Back sides of bodies are tight, right? That front feels kind of loose on me. Good. All right, and I'll do the same thing on the other leg. So set that down. I'll bring this one in. I'm going to give it a little support. This is my weaker, or my like a gimpier leg. And I'm going to stretch it real quick before we do into circles. Good, and this is so personal. So again, you don't have to look like anything. It's just about feeling inside. Feel like, okay, that's giving me some extra. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that planted up there, or I'm going to make the choice to keep my knee bent. Whatever one suits your body. And I'm going to press into here so my glutes stable versus slack. I don't know if you can see that. Slack, active. And I'm going to bring the leg down and around. And these pants are really telltale. I've got to stay like a plank over here, but if not, I roll. And that's not as effective. 3, so that's where the triceps are really handy. 4 in the glutes. 5, 6, reach through the toes, create space. 7, and 8. And then I'll go ahead and take it the other way. I'm going to bring it down and around for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. And I'll set that leg down. That was so good. Okay, so we're going to go back to some arm stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and come up into my roll up just as a Pilates-esque way to set myself up. But we already did, what's that? We already did tricep stuff. So we are not going to do tricep the whole time because then you'll die and then that's not very nice. So I'm gonna do something sitting, which is kind of cozy. I also implore you to switch your normal, if you're sitting like this, or take yourself out upright to allow you. But just something kind of a new normal. This is a weird position for me. So what I'm gonna do first, this is inspired by Katie's Fireball. I'm gonna go ahead and send my hands out. When you do so, be cognitive to be able to send them out. If somebody doesn't say that to me, I kind of will do like this thing. So still try to keep that work that you did, okay? All right, so I'm out, I'm serving cookies, that's it. That's my favorite. And I'm gonna reach and send it out, and then back in. Good. 3, 4, 5, not too bad so far. 6, 7, and then I'll keep them straight. I'm gonna go ahead and take one of my hands, and I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to the side, and then pull back in, and then I'll switch. I'm gonna pull my shoulder blade back, and then bring it back in. Getting a little back. 3. It is a little tricky not to be in the studio, not to have props. 4, 5, 6, good, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna pull both back. Good. 8, opening my chest. 7, good. 6, try not to flop around too much. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm gonna turn my palms down. I'm gonna pull my shoulders down my back, and I'm gonna do circles. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now I'm gonna go the size of a soccer ball, reversing, a little bit bigger, a little bit of a soccer ball, and I'm pressing down, down, good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5. Keeping your abs in tight. 4, 3, 2, and then the last one is a big circle. So as big as I can. Now the beauty of this is to be able to use your Pilates stuff that you've done to not like wiggle. 6, 7, and 8, and then reverse. We're learning how to absorb the work into the correct muscles instead of compensating in our spines, which is how some people get back pain. 3, which is no fun. 2. Okay, let's give those a break by turning your palms up, and you're gonna rest it in, and then you're gonna reach it back up. Rest it in and reach it back out. I pull my elbows to my waist to get my lats to engage, like we talked about at the beginning. 3, good. 4, 5, 6, good. 7, and then I'm gonna shrug forward, forward, and shrug back. Shrug forward, shrug back. Call this what? 3, 4, and I'm trying not to wiggle my torso. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm gonna close, I'm gonna squeeze shut, and then I'm gonna pull open. And I'm gonna squeeze shut and open, good. 3, and 4, good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm gonna hold it here, I'm gonna rotate down, and then rotate back up. I'm gonna rotate down, rotate back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, good. 6, 7, and then I'm gonna go ahead and flex or push my hands, and I'm gonna push up and then pull back down. I'm gonna push up, pull back down. 2, good. 3, it's like I'm pulling that thing down. 4, 5, good. 6, 7, and 8, good. And rest. So hopefully, so you got some of that there, but it wasn't deathly. Other fun thing, and you can say if you don't, this is actually not my water bottle, this is Chris's from this morning. If you have a water or a canned food or something like that, or I mean, honestly, you could use anything. I think this wouldn't give me as much feedback. But we're gonna do biceps real quick, and I just need something I need an inanimate object that is not my hand, because then I'll get confused. We're gonna do a little bit of biceps, which I actually have not done online yet, so I appreciate Julie saying arm stuff, because, well, if we do too much arms, it's gonna be all shoulders. So we already did triceps. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a little 30-second version. So what this looks like is I'm gonna take my inanimate object, I'm gonna kind of angle my elbows in, and I'm gonna do a bicep curl, and I'm gonna push it back down. I'm providing a little resistance. This is not a full water bottle, so hopefully I crush it. Good. So I'm kind of giving a little resistance up and down. The time that we're settling in is what's gonna give us that good stuff here. I have so much soda water in the fridge. That's what I'd use. I'd use a soda water can. Okay, so I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna take my hand that's here and I'm gonna pulse it in, and this hand's staying steady, steady. Push it in, push it in. Let's see, push, push. Yeah, take that water bottle. Push. This is so funny because it's so tiny, but it works. That's why people like lifting weights. It's really frustrating to not be able to kill something. Okay, and now I'm gonna hold it really tight. Hold it really tight. Good. I get a little bit of a shake going on. I don't think you can see it. But as much as you give is what you get. The other thing I'm sure you're doing is your shoulders are not up. Julie, it looks good. Your shoulders are not in your ears. Good, we got 2 more little baby bicep things on this side. So really kicking in. Still, for the record, when you're close to your body, you're stronger, which is why bent legs are easier. Okay, now the last thing, I'm gonna take this straight, and I'm gonna press this hand down, down, like this, down, yep, you can see down. It's not locked out, but it's working. My shoulders are back. We do this with the magic circles. So like, why not with, why not with our little inanimate object? Ugh. Dun, da, da, da. All right, last thing is you're gonna hold it really tight. Hold it, and then we'll take a break and switch sides, and then we're gonna be done. By the way, 30-second break is a great time to have a drink. I'm so bad at remembering to tell people they can do that. Squeeze. Oh, my arm's getting heavier. Anytime now, timer. Good. Oh, take a break. I'm gonna grab my soda water. Yeah, summer is a great time to feel good about our arms. Never really drank a lot of Dr. Pepper, but this is a soda water, soda inspired, which is kind of fun when I wanna, so I don't drink all the sugar. Okay, super easy. I'm gonna switch sides, and then I'm gonna resist it a little bit and just kind of move, kind of figure out what my range of motion is. So this is not too shabby. And that tired side, I get to work the tricep a little bit, which is nice. Oh, I think husband's home. We'll see. Welcome to Pilates. Okay, so then I'm gonna hold it up and I'm gonna push into me. So my little, this is better, pushes in.
Hey, Dad, guess what? Tell you something. My brain's Super Smash Brothers.
Good job. Thanks for rolling with this inanimate object thing. Good, and then I'll hold it really tight. Which is nice. Look at our little biceps. Look at you, yes, girl. Squeezing. Chris works at Olive Garden, guys. If you ever need some Olive Garden, he's your man. See, he didn't bring me home any cake. What a shame. Okay, so then I'll hold it in front, and then I'm going to press it down, which makes my arm work so hard.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm so close to it.
Good job. That looks so good. That's a perfect level, Julie. Good job.
Look, I'm very close.
last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it down really tight. Good. Ugh. So shaky. You can't see it on camera. I think that's probably good. Ooh. I have not done my biceps for a while. This is real. Ugh, done. Ooh. Oh, that opening. Cool. Okay, so we don't need that timer. We don't need that water bottle. So now we're gonna get to stretching. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my legs out nice and cozy. Good. This is the best part. Make sure I don't steal more time than we've allotted. Very important. Just like if you don't do it, like you're not gonna get in trouble or anything. But I mean, it's really frustrating to work really hard on something and to miss one little detail and then to like have to work harder. So what I used to do when I was in college is I would stretch like this, but see how that it's fine. It's totally fine. It doesn't hurt, and it still does stretch me out a little bit, but I would never get further. So how I have to get further is actually to sit up on my pelvis. So what I do is I had to take my hands here to sit myself up on my pelvis. Now I can go further, but I used to do it like this, and I could never get any further. So that's really important, guys, that you can sit on your sit bones down there. And when I started at 22, so I've only gotten better with age, luckily, but that's because I have smart trainers, okay? So start with being able to to take your pelvis upright, which is why we talk so much about it. And by the way, do you see how much that changes my posture versus this? Yeah. So really, and hamstrings do that, so just really work on that. I can't see your legs, Julie, but your neck looks good, so I think you're doing it perfect, so that's good. Awesome. Okay, so then I'm going to pick a side, and then I'm going to try, and again, I'm still keeping my chest up, because again, the same concept is if I stretch like this, I'm not actually going to get any length. So I want to stay upright and stretch, which is not as, you can go further if you dive like this, but it's fake. So same thing, I can go further if I dive, but it's a fake stretch, so the more upright I can go. Yeah, I know. And you know what, sometimes if I'm having a cruddy day, I'm like, I don't care, I want to lean forward. And you can too. Good. And then I'm going to bring my elbow in the front of my thigh. I'm going to push into it a little bit to help isolate this so it's strong, and then I'll reach up and over. Do a big stretch. And if you angle it right, sometimes you can stretch out that low back area over on the other side. And then I'm going to rotate a little bit to feel good. Rotate. That's nice. Stretching should be a little gratifying, not like a total pain fest. And then I'm going to face you guys, but you guys get the point with the pelvis. And then I'm going to go ahead and lean this way. Again, I can get more space apparently if I crunch, but I'm going to try and stay tall-ish. Good. And wiggle my toes a little. And then I'll bring my elbow to the front, just like we did before. And then that helps open up, and I'll reach up and over. Nice. Which gets some of these guys here. Right, our arms hang by your side. Good. And then the cool news is now when you go forward, you should be able to go forward a little bit more, because we were able to do them a little bit independently with, I still have my, you can't see in this angle, but I still have my pelvis out. I call it duck butt. Like you're a duck swimming. Good. Now let's go ahead and bring our feet together. And to do a little IT band stretch, so if you grab the inside of your opposite calf, you can lift it up. And then to get a little bit more, I can lift higher, but that feels good. Then I can also turn a little bit. And Julie, that's a perfect angle for your foot. I love it. I am learning so much about camera angles over this. Good, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna lift it up, and switch myself on. And I'll set that down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and come in for butterfly. Same concept again with the pelvis. So if I'm under, yeah, I try to push into my hands, try to make that lift. And then we're gonna do our glutes, even though we didn't necessarily work those out hard today, but that's okay. It's good to give those a little breather. I'm gonna kind of do a figure four. Notice Notice when I get to my butt, I want to round. I'm going to try to push until here to stretch it out, and you can always adjust your foot how far that is. And then if it, great thing if you have like a golf ball or tennis ball, you can always like put your weight on there and roll it out if that was ever an issue, if you ever felt like your glutes were tight. And then I'll go the other way. And don't worry, we'll have tennis balls and we'll be all reinstated sooner than later. Good. Alright, now this feels good for some people, but not for everybody. So, like, if you don't like it, it's just for a second. Some people like to stretch like this. Feels good on the back sometimes, but sometimes it's a big feat. So I'm just gonna bring that up, and then you can decide to do that. But the next move is where we cross over like this, okay? So if you want to skip the rollover, you can and just stretch like this. But if you want to roll over for a little bit, do that. Good. And then I'll go ahead and go to the other side. We kind of did some twisting today. And again, it's just going through the little caves of our body. That was nice, girlfriend. Go through the caves of our body and like making sure that they're like not forgotten about. Okay, so then I'm gonna roll over and then I'm gonna stretch my quad. So I'm gonna lazy stretch. Notice my hamstring pulls on my stinking hip flexor. So I'm gonna grab it and then I'm gonna push my pocket down into the ground to stretch out my quad. Cause see, my hip flexor shortens. Hamstrings and hip flexors are a thing. So I'm gonna pull that down. And stretch. And then I'll switch to the other side. And then if it feels good, you can try both. Sometimes this is a mobility thing. I think my shoulders are tighter than average. But what I can do with this is I can lift my thighs up a little bit and stretch out my both quads at the same time a little bit. Then which leads me into, I'm going to take my knees apart. I'm going to push my butt back. And then I'm going to bring, without bringing my chin down, I'm going to bring my ears below my biceps. Yes, yes, fancy child's pose. Good. Which leads me into one of my favorites. I'm going to bring one knee in, and then I'm going to slide this one back. So when I go forward, it's that, I get an inner thigh, but I've heard people get piriformis. I think that's more what it's designed for. My inner thigh is a cheater. And then also kind of play around with going upright to stretch out this pocket. Because hips are round, I will rotate sometimes to see if I have a tighter spot. And I always recommend playing. Yeah, very good. And then I'll go ahead and switch to the other side. Find it easiest to go on all fours. I see some people lift. Whatever one you think. Again, I'll go forward. I like stretching. Oh, we're so good. Okay, the last thing I'd recommend is stretching out our calves because, man, they take us everywhere. So I'm going to turn my thumbs out. I'm going to push my bottom up. And then I'm going to pedal one and then the other. Good. We made the front tighter and we were making the back side looser. So we have this nice balanced body, this nice alignment, and like less internal warfare. Looking good. Good job. And then I'm going to take my feet out. I kind of like my feet out apart a little bit. I'm going to push the weight back into my feet. You can bend your knees to do that, or you can keep them straight. And then I'll put a hand on each elbow. And I'm going to let my head come closer to the floor. Just to take the pressure off my neck, to let everything go long. We just wear our hair up to get stuff done. And leading with my chin to my chest, I'm going to nod my head yes. Shake my head no. I'm going to nod my head yes. Shake my head no. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, and on my exhale, I'm going to bring my hands to the floor. I'll soften my knees. Get heavy in the heels. You're going to roll up nice and slow for 8,